The creature bleeding on Dr. Marcus Webb's examination table should not have existed. Its body defied every principle of evolutionary biology he had studied across 3 decades of xenomedicine. 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern leaked purple fluid. Chitinous plates fractured across its torso revealed muscle tissue that pulsed with bioluminescence. 6 limbs sprawled at unnatural angles, 3 of them bent backward in ways that suggested catastrophic structural failure. Marcus had seen wounded aliens before. The frontier station of Ragnar's Edge serviced 73 registered species, and his clinic had treated representatives from most of them. But this creature belonged to no classification in his database. "Where did you find it?" Marcus asked the hauler captain, who had dragged the beast into his facility on a gravity sled. Captain Boone wiped green ichor from his gloves. "Asteroid belt. Sector 973. Thing came out of nowhere and attacked my mining drones. Took half my equipment offline before it collapsed." Marcus examined the lacerations crossing the creature's ventral surface. Deep wounds, certainly, but the bleeding had already begun to slow. Whatever this species was, it possessed remarkable regenerative capabilities. "It attacked your drones, and you brought it here alive?" Boone shrugged. "Figured the Empire would pay bounty for an unknown specimen. You keep it stable. I get my finder's fee. Everybody profits." The creature's eyes opened. All 4 of them fixed on Marcus with an intelligence that sent ice down his spine. Not animal awareness. Not instinct. Something far more calculating stared out from that alien face. Marcus had spent his career learning to read pain in species whose evolutionary paths diverged billions of years ago. The subtle tension in this creature's limbs, the shallow quality of its breathing, the way its secondary eyelids flickered all indicated suffering. He made his decision. "Out," Marcus said. "I need to work." Boone protested, but ultimately complied. The moment the door sealed, Marcus activated his medical suite. Scanners hummed to life, bathing the creature in diagnostic light. The readings made no sense. The creature's cellular structure contained elements common to carbon-based life, but interwoven with crystalline matrices that resembled computational architecture more than biology. Its nervous system operated on principles that combined organic neurology with quantum processing. A bioweapon, Marcus realized. Engineered, designed. The creature's mouth opened. A sound emerged that his translator struggled to interpret, finally settling on a single word. "Why?" Marcus froze. Speech implied sapience. Sapience implied rights. Treating a sapient being without consent violated a dozen interspecies treaties. But the creature was dying. "Because you're hurt," Marcus said simply. "And I'm a doctor." He worked through the night. Human medical knowledge proved inadequate, so he improvised. He used techniques developed for crystalline species to stabilize the computational matrices. He applied pressure bandaging methods from high-gravity world protocols to seal the major wounds. He synthesized a broad-spectrum antibiotic cocktail that might, possibly, prevent infection in something with this creature's bizarre physiology. The creature watched him throughout. Those 4 eyes tracked every movement, analyzed every decision. Marcus felt evaluated in ways that transcended simple observation. Dawn broke over Ragnar's Edge. Marcus had not slept. The creature's vital signs had stabilized. The bioluminescence in its muscle tissue now pulsed with steady rhythm rather than erratic flickering. "You should live," Marcus said, exhaustion making his words blunt. "I can't promise full recovery, but you'll survive." The creature's limbs shifted. With startling speed, it rolled upright on the examination table. Marcus stumbled backward, reaching for the emergency sedative dispenser. The creature made no aggressive moves. Instead, it extended one clawed appendage toward Marcus in what might have been a gesture of acknowledgement. "Det," the translator interpreted. registered. Then the creature launched itself through the reinforced window, shattering the supposedly unbreakable transparent aluminum into glittering fragments. Marcus rushed to the opening and watched the creature sprint across the landing field with impossible speed before vanishing into the station's maintenance tunnels. Captain Boone was furious. Station security was baffled. Marcus filed his report, carefully noting that the creature had demonstrated sapience and that continuing to restrain it would have violated sentient rights protocols. Nobody believed him. The security recording showed something that moved like a predator, not a person. An investigation was opened. Marcus faced potential sanctions for releasing an unknown and possibly dangerous organism into the station's infrastructure. 3 days later, everything changed. An Imperial battlecruiser entered Ragnar's edge space. Not a patrol vessel or a customs frigate, but a full capital ship bristling with weapons that could reduce the entire station to ionized particles. The kind of vessel that escorted the Empire's highest nobility. The station administrator received a direct transmission from the battlecruiser's bridge. Marcus, watching the news feeds in his clinic, saw the administrator's face go white. 2 hours later, Marcus stood in the station's primary docking bay, surrounded by an honor guard of Imperial soldiers, whose armor likely cost more than his entire clinic. The battlecruiser's shuttle had just touched down. The hatch opened. She emerged like a force of nature made flesh. Humanoid in basic structure, but clearly belonging to a species engineered for perfection. Skin like polished obsidian. Eyes that burned with inner fire. A crown of bone and metal that seemed to grow organically from her skull. Empress Valeria IX, absolute ruler of 70 systems and 300 billion souls. Behind her, moving with predatory grace, came the creature Marcus had healed, but transformed. Its wounds had healed completely. Its chitinous armor gleamed. Its 4 eyes fixed on Marcus with unmistakable recognition. The station administrator prostrated himself. The soldiers snapped to attention with such precision that their movements sounded like a single crack of thunder. Marcus stood frozen, his mind refusing to process what he was seeing. Empress Valeria approached him directly. Her entourage remained at a respectful distance. When she spoke, her voice carried absolute authority. Dr. Marcus Webb, you are accused of rendering medical assistance to my personal guardian, the last sentinel of the Dawn Court, without authorization or compensation. Marcus's mouth went dry. I didn't know. The last sentinel is my most valuable possession, Valeria continued. A creature of unique heritage, engineered over centuries, bonded to my bloodline through means your species cannot comprehend. It represents the pinnacle of military biotechnology. Dynasties have fallen attempting to create its equal. The creature the last sentinel moved to stand beside Marcus. One of its limbs extended, gently touching his shoulder. The sentinel was injured during an assassination attempt against my person, Valeria said. It pursued the attackers into the asteroid belt, eliminated them, but sustained critical damage in the process. It would have died there, alone in the dark, had you not intervened. Marcus found his voice. I was just doing my job. You violated 17 security protocols, Valeria countered. You treated an unknown organism without clearance. You allowed a potential bioweapon to escape into civilian areas. You endangered thousands of lives through negligence. Each accusation landed like a hammer blow. Marcus saw his career evaporating, possibly his freedom as well. Then Empress Valeria smiled. You also saved the life of something I value more than entire worlds. A debt has been registered, Dr. Webb. The Empire pays its debts. She gestured. One of her attendants stepped forward, carrying a case of black metal. You are hereby granted the rank of Imperial Physician, with all rights and privileges thereof. Your clinic will receive unlimited funding. Your research will have access to medical archives spanning 40,000 years of accumulated knowledge. And should you ever require anything protection, resources, political favor, you need only ask. Marcus stared at the case, now open to reveal credentials that would make him one of the most powerful medical professionals in known space. I don't understand, he said. Why such generosity for one wounded creature? Valeria's expression softened almost imperceptibly. She reached out and ran her fingers across the last sentinel's armored head. The creature made a sound like grinding crystals that Marcus's translator interpreted as contentment. Because, Dr. Webb, you looked at my most lethal weapon, a creature designed only to kill and protect, and you saw a patient in need. You treated it with the same care you would show any suffering being. That compassion is rarer than you realize. She turned to leave, then paused. The last sentinel remembers kindness, Doctor. It never forgets. Neither do I. The imperial entourage departed with the same overwhelming ceremony that had announced their arrival. Marcus stood in the empty docking bay, holding credentials that had just elevated him to a position most doctors only dreamed of. The station administrator approached cautiously, his earlier hostility replaced by obsequious respect. Dr. Webb, if there's anything the station can do to assist your upgraded facility. Marcus barely heard him. He was thinking about the creature's eyes, the intelligence behind them, the capacity for gratitude. He returned to his clinic and stared at the shattered,